Each day I wake and hope to see in your eyes a sign that's only meant for me. It reaches across to touch only like a whisper in my ear.
Hey music lovers, it's time for another episode of Rider TV with Cheryl Lee
and Vince Contarino.
And this week we have got our guest Patrick Sorrentino. Now that sounds like an Italian name, but he's French. And
Is he?
Yes, yeah, I know this stuff. Actually, I used to teach. I had taught Patrick vocals back in the mid-'80s for a short time because he was recording an album and he wanted to get his chops up. And back then, he's a very dedicated musician, this one.
So we've got you to thank.
Oh, no, don't blame me. but he's a wonderful guitar player, writes songs, and he's been in countless bands but now he's into this whole TV producing thing, and he's a really good interviewer too. Yeah.
Well, I must admit, I didn't know a lot about Patrick before we went live to air at CoastFM with all the lights, camera and action as well, but found out a lot of interesting stuff.
Oh, right, well, let's have a look.
Phil Collins in the air tonight. I'm going to tell you why we played that in a little minute. 88.7 Adelaide's Coast FM. Welcome to Monday Latte. Thank you to Lynette Wright for another awesome show, The Right Mix. I always love Lynette's songs, particularly liked tonight Mustang Sally, the last one by The Commitments. Always nice to hear that one. Pop onto the station Facebook page, 88.7 Adelaide's Coast FM. And that Radio Chick Cheryl Lee Facebook page, or just give me a call here in the studio on 8371 1000 to say hi. We have got a guest presenter with us in the studio tonight. We're going to play another favourite song of his, and then we're going to be speaking to Patrick Sorrentino, a French-Australian singer, guitarist and songwriter, to find out what he's been up to since he arrived in Adelaide. Next up we've got Roxanne by The Police. Okie dokie. I'd like to welcome into the studio Patrick Sorrentino. Thanks for coming in, Patrick.
Well, thank you very much, Cheryl. Thanks for having me.
Some of you may have seen Patrick performing around town. But let's find out what you came to Australia in the mid-'80s from France. What made you come to little old Adelaide, Patrick?
Well, actually, the very first time I came to Australia was when I was 6 years old.
Right.
But my parents got homesick in the mid-'70s and decided to go back home, and by then I'd gotten involved in the music industry, and back in the mid-'70s Australia was really bubbling musically with a whole heap of things that were coming out, like AC/DC, The Angels, and even though they were just like small bands at the time, they hadn't quite managed to hit national success. When I was over in France, there was this sudden love of Australian music. Right. AC/DC hit the stage, and they were phenomenal. Dan Rose Tattoo, which was kind of funny because they came out a little bit after when I was in France. So because I was doing reasonably well in France, I was about to turn 18 and my passport had 1 year left on it. And I had to do back then what was called the military service.
Right.
And I didn't want to do the military service. So I had 1 year to leave France. So I used that as an excuse.
So you ran away and joined a rock band.
To come back to little old Adelaide,
Yeah.
where all my rock star, influences started, and then back in '81 I was back here, and it was really bizarre. Yeah.
And you've lived here ever since in Adelaide?
Yeah, I have. I lived in Melbourne for a little while. Had a bit of a go over there, but that was just before I met my previous wife, and I sort of came back.
Came back for love.
Yeah, but came back for love. Yeah.
And Adelaide and AC/DC is still hitting the stage and rocking our socks off. Did you go yesterday?
No, I didn't go yesterday, but I got to see them in Avignon when they started the Back in Black tour.
Oh,
and
nice.
that was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bell coming down, and it was. I remember those days were pretty vibrant because they were huge over in France, and they actually befriended a French band called Trust, and they used to do a lot of stuff together. So they were part of the entourage that I grew up with. But I remember when that album came out, people weren't sure whether they were going to be able to reinvent themselves without Bon Scott. So there was a lot of attention around what they were doing, and of course when Back in Black came out, it was phenomenal, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah. So I asked you for your all-time favourite song, and you gave us three. We've heard Phil Collins and we've heard The Police. The next one is Move Over by Janis Joplin. Why do you love these three songs?
Okay, Phil Collins, it's a no-brainer. I was always a big fan of Genesis, right?
Yeah.
And again, over in France, Genesis were huge. And they hadn't released a few albums for quite a while, and then they did release their last album without Peter Gabriel. And Phil Collins sort of it wasn't a big stretch because Phil Collins' voice was always on the Genesis albums because he was singing with Peter Gabriel. But so when he did his solo career, it wasn't really that. People were used to his voice already. And The Air Tonight was just a classic song, It was everybody was interested to see what Phil Collins was going to do after Genesis, and it was all those songs like Roxanne and In the Air Tonight marked a particular time in my life. This 1978 was just when I was starting to do some noticeable things in music over in France, and you're a young adult. Everything's just it's just all
heaven
happening.
on a stick.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Music does that, doesn't it? It's such has a nostalgic hook and takes you right
Absolutely.
back to a time, doesn't it? And I love this one too, Janis Joplin. Why is this a favourite?
Oh, Janis Joplin. Look, that comes from a little bit earlier when I started to play guitar. There were two main influences back then, was Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. They sort of, I remember going to my first college gig, and one of the things that I remember, there was somebody playing Janis Joplin on stage, and the smell of marijuana and alcohol, and that's always
bit like last night.
Stuck to me all my life,
Yeah.
So,
Let's hear that, shall we? This is a great one. I'm glad you chose it. Move Over, and then we're going to come back and find out a little bit more about Patrick Sorrentino and his music career. Mics are off. There you go. Gee, I love the French language. It's so romantic. I don't care what you say. If you say it in French, it just sounds so smexy, don't you think? Oh, what a very smexy song. Anyway, we asked you, Patrick, some artists that have influenced your career. We've already talked about Elvis. We know Hendrix, Jeff Beck, Santana, Tom Jones. How have they influenced you in your career?
Well, as a guitarist, if you don't know who Jimi Hendrix is or was, you know, that
Can
would
you
be,
really say you're a
can
guitarist?
That's right. It's you know, and it was at a time when I was starting to learn how to play the guitar, you know, and so to me it holds a special place. But Jeff Beck is another one that I you know, in some ways I sort of loved even more than Jimi Hendrix. He's a musician who's a bit like Miles Davis, who was able to flow with the time. He wasn't stuck in one particular era. So if you listen to Jeff Beck back in the 60s, it sounds like Jeff Beck in the 60s. In the 70s, you hear a different Jeff Beck. And just before he passed away, there's some of the collaborations that he had was moving forward again into another era of Jeff Beck. And I love that. I love musicians who can evolve through time. So that's probably one of the biggest influences that, you know, and Tom Jones is on the list there as well. You know, he's not a guitarist, but he's an amazing singer. And again, someone who's able to move through the times. I was introduced to that through my mother, you know, back in the 60s.
Yes.
You know,
Did she throw her knickers on the stage, Tim?
well, she didn't tell me anything about that, but now,
TMI.
you know.
Too much information.
Well, yeah, we'll keep that one under lock and key, yeah.
Alrighty, well let's play some from some of these artists that have helped shape and influence your career. What have we got by Jimi Hendrix?
I think it's Foxy Lady, isn't it?
And Santana?
Santana, she's not there.
Mm-hmm. And Tom Jones?
She's a lady.
Yeah, alrighty, let's
Sure
hear
is.
those. You're with Cheryl Lee, you're on Monday Latte, you're on CoastFM. Mics are off. But I think even if we just mention Sammy, oh goodness me, that was a short song. That caught us a little bit unawares. You're with Cheryl Lee, you're on Coast FM, and this is Monday Latte. See, that's what happens when you chit-chat to the guests in the studio between songs. Right, Patrick. We want to know why you love this song so much, because your favourite song to play right now is by Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. I must admit, it's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's funny because I've always been a big fan of Bruno Mars. I think he's a great songwriter. And Lady Gaga, well, you know, she's pretty amazing herself. But there's something about it that brings me, when I listen to this song, it sort of reminds me a bit of the arrangements and the songwriting styles of the 70s, you know, those pop songs that they had back in the 70s, and it's really, really catchy. I just love it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, let's have a listen to it, because then we're going to have a little chit-chat about some of the other feathers in your cap, and then we're going to play some originals.
Mm.
Oh.
Well done.
That bloody short song. 30 seconds. Gee, thanks for pointing out that I didn't put your mic on.
I was watching.
Where's my mic? 15 seconds, I'm going to pop the mics on. And yours. Now, Patrick has got many feathers in his cap. He was also, for 6 years, a board member of South Australian Music Industry Association, SAMIA, and he's also been involved in television as well. But we're going to talk about, firstly, some of the new music, because after the 20-year break, 2022, new singles and new music, including this one that we're going to play next, I Just Want to Make Love to You. Is that right?
Yes. So we've got to thank COVID for this. Because I found myself both unemployed and which is pretty hard for a teacher. Not that I'm a bad teacher. COVID brought it about. It's a long story, but I won't go into it. So I found myself with a whole lot of time on my hands, like a lot of people at the time. And I sort of thought, why don't I just write some songs and just see how I go? And I did, and it was just amazing. All this stuff came out, and it was almost like as if I hadn't stopped. You know,
It's like riding a bike, was
it's
it?
like riding a bike, yeah. And so I wrote one song and released that on the net because there was a whole lot of technology that didn't exist at the time. So you could self-promote, self-promote on the net, put things on YouTube. You can you market that and whatnot. And the songs did really well. I was just like, my God, I've got to keep on doing this. I Just Want to Make Love to You, I think is rating with 24,000 views on the net, and go and check it out. It's on Patrick Sorrentino's channel, I Just Want to Make Love to You. So I
look at it. Look for it on YouTube.
It's on Spotify, but on Spotify it's funny because the demographic that I'm in don't follow Spotify. No matter how much I promote it, it just doesn't do anything. So, which brings to, we'll talk about
We're more old school.
Yeah, more old school. So YouTube works really well, and it's actually been picked up over in France through a number of radio stations as well. So that's a bit of a bonus. But it's given me the courage to sort of go, you know what? Why don't I record a second album? So that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years, and that's taken on another, stretch of possibilities, but we can talk about that
Is
after.
that a scoop? Like you heard it first here, new album coming in 2026?
Well, yes, brand new album coming, and we will be possibly, if you stick around, if you stick around, be playing the first song off of that later on.
Ooh, all right. Well, let's hear the first one first. I Just Want to Make Love to You, and then we're back to speak some more to Patrick Sorrentino. You're with Cheryl Lee, you're on Monday Latte, you're on CoastFM. So I think we've got time for, because you're going to just stay a couple more minutes, thank you, for 2 more of your original songs. Then we just want to touch a little bit before you go about what you're doing on the telly. So we've got a Jama Blues song, is that right? A Fall for You, and then...
Yeah, so this, I Was a Fool for Your Love. That was off of my, the Jama Blue EP. And there's an acoustic version that appears on the album, on the solo album as well. So, but this is the actual full band version. Jama was a 3-piece band, just me playing guitar and singing, and a drummer and a bass player. And it was great fun. It was really a cool band at the time. And this is a bit of a snippet of it. I was a fool for your love, and I'm sure we've all been there.
Yeah, and then we're going to have I Ain't Gonna Ask Anymore, another one of your originals.
Okay, now this is the exclusive.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So this is the exclusive, guys.
Listen up.
Listen up. I'm giving you a little bit of a snip preview, right, of this is going to be the next single for next year. The video's already been done. And I'd need to say thank you to a number of people very quickly. I know we're pressed for time. Ronnie Anderson, Nick Southgate, Tracy Doden, Julie, Karina Green and Natalie Irma, who all contributed to this song, and there's so many more who have contributed to other songs. But this will be released early next year, so if you are interested, stay tuned, because...
Yeah, you'll hear it first here, I'm sure.
You'll hear it first here.
And Natalie Irma, does she sing on the track?
Yes, she did some backup vocals, yeah.
Oh, beautiful, Natalie. She's been our guest in here earlier in the year.
The album features a lot of top names around the industry, and I'm so grateful for their contribution. I really am.
Yeah, Adelaide music scene, music people are a bit like that, aren't they? Mm. Yeah, they're wonderful. We've got a great music community.
And very talented.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing talent.
Absolutely. Well, let's hear these 2 new songs, and then 2 songs, and then we're going to find out a little bit about the TV stuff. 10 seconds, I'm putting lights on. There you go, you heard it first here. And there's going to be some songs in French and some in English on the new album.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
that's
stay
right. Yeah.
tuned. Now, we want to talk a little bit about the telly, don't we? So you started out with Mega Music back in 2024, and you've got a new program now, Australian Indie Music TV. Tell us a little bit about that one. Starting
Okay,
next
so so we've been working for the last year on a new concept with Mark Thurston, who's also
who's our cameraman?
who's our cameraman tonight. Yes.
Standing right here.
Yeah.
And also produces your show,
Yeah.
Rider Music.
Yeah, full disclosure, we both have shows on Channel 44 and 31.
Yeah, let's not pat each other's back too much,
Yeah.
okay? No, which is fantastic actually. I think that both shows cover a wide range of stuff, so it's really good. But this new show here is still going to be a video show, but we are broadening the age group, and so. Don't just, if you think it's just going to be about one particular age group, it's about all age groups. I'm just answering to a question that was asked on Facebook about it, so I'm just covering that base.
Yeah.
So it's for all age group. Also, it's going to have some little feature things like local heroes and things like that, and it's also open to interstate artists as well, which Mega Music wasn't at the time. So. Really excited about that, and we're sort of almost finished all the interviews, and we've got some really exciting people coming on the show.
Oh.
So we're and most of them are 90% of them will be local artists, and I'm sure that you will have heard of them somewhere or other, and some that you haven't heard of.
Well, I just wanted to thank you so much for coming in to the studio tonight and sharing your story with us and sharing your music with us, and we wish you all the very best for the new album in the new year, and of course the new TV show as well.
Yeah, no, well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to come, and I'm so grateful that you invited me over, and it was fun. We had a
Yay.
great time, and yeah.
We'll do it again.
We will do it again, either on radio or on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Alrighty, well, we're going to let you go. We've kept you 15 minutes later. Thank you so much for staying a little bit extra for us.
That's okay, Cheryl.
Bye
Thank
for
you.
now. We're done.
Cool.
We're
Come.
clear. Yeah, there you go.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for joining us on Rider TV this week. Hope you enjoyed finding out everything about Patrick Sorrentino.
That's good. I want to play with him now.
Yeah, you can.
Well, he lives just around the... He lives in Prospect and I live in Kilburn, so...
You two should
I'm
collaborate.
going to knock on the door with my guitar.
Yeah.
Can I come in?
Can I play tambourine?
Yes, all right, you can do that.
See you same bat time.
Same back channel.
Next week.
Cheryl, tell us the good news.
If you love your music as much as we do, and everybody involved in this show does it for the love of it, none of us get paid, and you'd like to be involved, please just email this address here and come along and have a chat to us about sponsoring maybe one show or even a whole series of shows. We'd love to have you on board.